I Really Didn't Want to Be Right by MollyMahem. When my cousin told the world of Facebook that she was moving to Madrid, Spain, I tried to be happy for her and ignore the wave of paranoia that washed over me. What I assumed must have been a job offer as an independent filmmaker, it turned out to be something quite different. My Freebird cousin had fallen in love with a foreign actor, and he was moving her into his cozy villa for, ever. Okay, so at this point, the hairs literally stood on the back of my neck. This actor is not internationally recognized, but does have a small, rather rabid following in Spain, Portugal, and oddly enough, Egypt. When I did a quick Google search, there he was, an impossibly handsome man who must have at least been 25 years older than my cousin. Let's call her Monica. I found it weird that she would make posts and tag him in them, but he would never say a word. I went to his Facebook page and there was nothing to indicate that he was in love. His wall was covered in pictures of him posing with various hot chicks in exotic locales across the globe. This did not make me feel any easier. Was she making this relationship up to set her parents at ease? But why did I care? It was her life. Perhaps it was because no one in our family ever left Texas, much less leaving the country for good. Or perhaps it was just jealousy. I mean, I was always talented, but never could get a leg up anywhere. I wound up with a house full of brats and a sod of a husband. Maybe it wasn't worry I was feeling, but that the green-eyed monster was taking possession of my sanity. I wrote off my apprehensions and joined her multitude of friends and family in wishing her the best of luck on her new adventure. The first few weeks she was over there, I was beginning to have doubts that there really was a relationship. She posted only 3 pictures, one of her new view, one of her on a horse-drawn carriage riding through some foreign park, and one of her looking out over a cliff. She looked thin, tired, and did not look as happy as I expected her to be. It was almost as if she had been disappointed with her new arrangement. She posted once or twice more about jet-setting from one country to the next, following her lover around, but still, there was never a picture of them together. And I noticed something else about the 2 pictures she had posted of herself. She was fully covered, long sleeves, long pants. This was not like her usual fashionista self. She looked terribly drab and gaunt. But I figured maybe it was just cold and she had found a thrift shop or something to buy a few sweatshirts and jeggings. This was still put out of character, but I knew the move was expensive, so I accepted my imaginations for the truth. When finally, after a full 2 months, yes, I was counting, she finally shared a picture of the 2 of them together on a kayak on some lake somewhere out there. I got another chill, and as I studied the picture more closely, I noticed the unnatural way he held her, or restrained her rather. I took a screenshot and sent it to her brother, asking him to tell me if he saw anything odd in the picture. He came back with something about the swan's head looking funny, and I knew it was lost on him, so again, I shrugged it off. But then, she just went silent. No posts. She was not answering pleas from her mom for an update. And it was when she ignored her lifelong best friend's plea for her to contact her immediately that I knew my worst fears may be coming into fruition. After a few more weeks with nary a word, my aunt and uncle launched an international investigation, declaring her missing and possibly in danger. They flew to Madrid and went to the address Monica had left with them and found it was just an empty warehouse. There was no sign that anyone had been in the building for ages, so they hit a dead end. The investigation led them to Brazil. Her fiancé was on location filming his latest Spanish thriller, and this is where they found Monica. She was completely zoned out on a powerful cocktail of drugs and booze. She was dangerously underweight and covered from head to toe in cuts and bruises. Her beautiful smile completely marred by broken teeth and busted lips. Her left eye was completely closed shut, swollen to the size of a hard-boiled egg, halved long ways. They only found her after arresting her Romeo and threatening torture, international news exposure, and much more. He is awaiting sentencing and his career is over, but the nightmares are never ending for Monica. When she was safely back in Texas, we all tried in our various ways to cheer her up, to bring her hope, to pull her out of the darkness he left her in. She was always such a dreamer, making all her wildest dreams come true, and instead woke up in a nightmare. Sadly, all of our attempts were in vain. Her parents recently and reluctantly admitted her into a nearby mental health home called Austin Oaks. My mom sat me down during a recent visit to fill me in on the latest heartbreaking news. Apparently, Monica was used as a sex slave, not by her Romeo, but by everyone else in his entourage. She was made to eat her own feces and vomit. She was made to sleep chained to the floor, naked. And one after another, all day, every day, the men would take turns having their way with her. They kept her hopped up on drugs to numb her pain and kill her fight. They used archaic devices to further shock and torture her. And she barely slept, if ever. She was so broken, so deceived, so used and wasted, that her therapists have told my aunt and uncle it will take years for her to recover and she will never be her same vibrant self again. She sits silently in the dark of her room in the institution with the covers pulled tight over her head. No one can touch her, or she starts screaming like a banshee and lashes out at whoever tries to come near to calm her. It breaks my heart to see her this way. I hate that I was ever so jealous of her. Her misfortune has only made me love my boring life and my horrible little family of monsters all the more. The husband, not so much. But that is another story for another day. Oh, and I am done dreaming. I am going to get an office job and be done. Oddly enough, not only can I not find a single mention of his trial, I can no longer find anything when I Google his name. His Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts are also gone. I guess he wins in the end because no one will ever know what a sick and evil man he truly is. And before you bother, don't think you're going to get me to squeal. Might I remind you of what he did to my cousin? Thanks for reading my first Reddit post. Send warm vibes to my cousin in Austin, please. Thank you.